I don't care how many games you win, national championship, cool. But if you don't beat them people up north, you're going to live with that the rest of your life.
Now, with me today is a man who knows all about high-stakes football and heated rivalries, former Ohio State Buckeye. He did his thing against Michigan with a 129-yard, 3-touchdown performance that ended a 6-game losing streak at the Big House. He's also a member of the Houston Texans' inaugural draft class. And when he wasn't breaking ankles on the field, he was making moves in the music industry. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jonathan Wells of Jay Wells. What's happening, Jay Wells?
Man, what's good, old man? Great to see you, man. I appreciate you having me on, boss.
Likewise, man. Let's dive right into it, man. It's been a heated weekend in the NFL. Of course, that late hit by your guy, Houston Texans, Azeez Al-Shaair. Trevor Lawrence, like he slid like he was supposed to, but he got leveled by Al-Shaair. Now, I'm all about the physicality of the game. I see the look on your face, Jay. It looks like you're getting ready to go somewhere with this. And I just want to know, as a former player with the Texans, what's going through your mind when you see a hit like that?
I think listen. I mean, you could. It all depends on how you want to see it. I feel like he slid a little bit too late. You know what I'm saying? He could have slid a little bit earlier if you ask me myself. Now, do I think the hit was a little extra? Yes. I think what did most of the damage was his head hitting the ground, if you want to be honest with me. Because he kind of caught him with a little chicken wing right there around the shoulder area, but the ground did most of the damage. Late hit, yes. Egregious, I don't think so. You know what I'm saying? So I think it was a dirty hit. He should have got ejected. Okay. He's going to get suspended. Okay. He's already said 3 games right now. So I think he'll probably appeal that. Hopefully they bring that back down to maybe 1 game, and then he gets back out there and do what he does.
Now, do you think that the brawl was justified as a means of the Jaguars standing up for their quarterback, or did it cross the line into unsportsmanlike conduct?
Nah, you absolutely have to protect your quarterback. I would have did the exact same thing. I would have been looking for whoever was nearest me, and I would have been trying to take somebody's head off as well. You have to have that type of passion behind your players, especially your quarterback, who is your leader of your offense and your team as well. So if you're not going to protect your quarterback, then I don't know what you're doing out here on the football field.
Understood. Now, taking it a step further, how much responsibility falls on the Texans coaching staff? Should the team face penalties, or is this solely land on Al-Shaair's shoulders?
Now, this is strictly on the player. The coaches talk about this all the time. They mention this 1,000 times. We know what's a legal tackle. Well, sometimes I don't know what's a legal tackle right now, if you want to ask me. So, listen, these guys are out there. They're in the heat of the battle. This man is a known enforcer. That's what he does. He's out there to knock heads off. So I'm not going to be mad at him because he took it a little extra. Like I said, he could have slid a little bit earlier. It is what it is, man. That's what we want him to do. That's what we brought him to Houston to do, knock people out when they come across that field. And unfortunately, we don't want to see people go out like that. But at the same time, we want him being as physical as he can at all times.
Is it getting a little soft out there? Is that what you're trying to, insinuate, Jay, or what?
I'm from that old school. You know what I mean? I don't think nothing's illegal. Like I said, crackbacks, we did it all. You know what I'm saying? If you on the field, the word on the streets was keep your head on a swivel. You need to see what's going on around you. So you need to be aware of going on out there. You know people coming to peel back on you if they throw an interception. You got to know all of this stuff. You got to be aware in the moment. So I like old school. You know what I mean? I ain't really with all these new rules.
Okay, so he apologized. Now it seems genuine, but does an apology really mean anything in the NFL anymore?
I mean, it means something because he felt like he needed to do it. So, yes, I'll take his apology sincerely. I know he didn't want to put this man in a hospital. Like, nobody's out there trying to put people in a hospital. That's not what I'm saying. But football is a brutal, violent sport. So that's the way we approach it. That's the way I approached it. That's the way some guys approach it. So sometimes it goes a little bit overboard, but I don't think he did that on purpose at all.
All right. Now, should the league prioritize punishment over apologies to set an example?
Yeah, I mean, they're gonna fine him. He's gonna get a big time fine, and like I said, he's gonna get suspended. So, I mean, you want to kick the man out of the game of football because he hit the quarterback a little bit too hard? I mean, what y'all want? I mean, he already getting suspended. He's losing money. They're doing what they're supposed to do. Let's keep it moving.
Okay. All right. So we will keep it moving, man. We're going to take it back to college and take it to the yard. A lot of talk around Michigan, Ohio State. You played in this rivalry. This year's game was everything and then some. I heard you were causing chaos on the sidelines out there, but we'll talk about that later. High stakes, big plays in a post-game fight had everybody talking. Michigan's 13-10 upset over O State. Tensions continued escalating. Players attempted to plant their flag at midfield. Now, this act sparked the brawl that everybody is talking about pretty much, I would say, around the world, necessitating police intervention, all right, including the use of pepper spray. One officer sustained injuries during the incident. Both universities have acknowledged the Big Ten's conference decision to fine each institution $100,000 for violating sportsmanship policies. As a Buckeye, if you were out there, what would Jay Wells have done?
If I was out there, because not if I was out there, you got to remember, I played in this rivalry 4 times, and I was on the winning side twice. I was on the losing side twice. So I had to tuck my tail my last game senior year at home, and they came in there and beat our ass. Let's keep it real. Were we out there fighting? No. I wasn't looking for nobody planting a flag because I was already in the locker room. If I wanted to fight, we should have fought within the 60 minutes of the game. I'm not trying to hear nothing about no fighting after the game. I don't care nothing about planting no flag. I get it. We want to represent. No, you represent by going out there and making plays, bringing a W back, and celebrating with your team. So I don't want to hear nothing about no fighting. I thought that was weak. I thought it was whack. I was disappointed. I love my guys, but that's not how we handle it. My high school coach, J.T. Curtis, told me this a long time ago. You got to win like a champion, and you got to lose like a champion. And I keep that with me always. So I didn't respect how we handled that.
Okay, so safe to say you agree that O State overreacted.
Absolutely.
Okay, understood. Planting a flag has always been a part of rivalries. What do you think happened this time, man? Did this ever happen when you were in the game?
Let me tell you what I saw and what I know. What happened was you saw the kid number 33 when he was out there crying and Ryan Day was just looking at him. What you saw was a bunch of guys that won a lot of games at Ohio State. But what you also saw was those seniors, they never know the feeling of beating Michigan in their 4 years at Ohio State. And that is a miserable state to be in when you're leaving Buckeye Nation. I don't care how many games you win, national championship, cool. But if you don't beat them people up north, you're going to live with that the rest of your life. So what you saw was kids that was hurt, heartbroken, and they just took it a little bit too far with the disrespect. Now, mind you, you got to win like a champion too. So I'm not, I'm cool with running around with the flag, but when you start planting it, whatever, that might be a little bit too much. But, man, you still there's no room for fighting after the game. And then, like I said, you got to take your L like a man.
All right, take me into the O State locker room. What's that conversation like during a situation like that? What's the feeling? What's the vibe? What's taking place in that locker room across the board?
After you lose a Michigan game, man, it's like being at a funeral. You can hear a pin drop. You hear guys crying. You hear the seniors that are never going to be able to play in this rivalry again. They're crying. They're weeping. I know my last game at the Horseshoe, I had my best game ever, but we lost. So I'm sitting on the bench crying after the game. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of sadness, disappointment. Guys that didn't play their best. Guys might have, didn't make a play when we needed them to make a play. They're going to live with this. Trust me, I had a 76-yard run in this rivalry, and I didn't score. I got caught at the 5-yard line. We didn't get any points. Tom Brady comes back to beat us. Bro, I live with this shit now because I could have been 3-1 versus Michigan opposed to 2-2 if I score on that 76-yard run. So imagine having your worst run in the history of the rivalry be a 76-yard run because you didn't score.
Did you see the sparks in terms of Tom Brady, having played against him at that level at that time?
No.
So you didn't see him becoming the GOAT.
Now, mind you, he came back and beat us that day. We was up by 7. He came back and beat us, so he had that clutch gene, but Tom Brady wasn't like that at Michigan. Nobody saw that coming. I don't care what the hell they talking about. Nobody saw that coming.
Now, both schools took $100,000 hit for unsportsmanlike conduct, obviously. Do you think that's enough of a deterrent, man, to prevent something like this from happening again? How does that discipline come down from the coaching staff?
I mean, I don't think that's enough for a billion-dollar organization, but hey, whatever works. Here's the only way they're going to put a stop to this. College football is going to come out and make a rule that's illegal. You cannot do that anymore. Like they're just going to have to stop the teams from going out there and doing it because people are going to always represent their school. They're going to always try to protect that honor. And then sometimes, like I say, it's going to spill overboard. But I think the NCAA should come out and just stop people from planting the flags, and then we won't have to talk about this no more.
Okay. Now you played in some heated rivalries, obviously. What has been the most intense? I mean, have you ever had any emotions where they boiled over like that? It was almost an all-out brawl. You was in the octagon too.
The octagon? What octagon?
On the octagon on the field, meaning have you ever had to get to that level where it was?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Listen. First of all, in every fall camp, when the opposing team comes in to practice with us for a week, there's going to be 2, 3, 4, 5 brawls that week, team brawls at practice. So this is not nothing that there's nothing on a football field that surprises me, bro. So like that's just a part of the game. Yeah, things are going to ball over, and that's just how it goes.
All right. Talk to me about Coach Ryan Day, man. What do you think happens? How does that look? What's the future looking like at O State and Columbus with him?
Man, it's shaky. It's shaky. And I've been an avid Ryan Day supporter. I've never wavered. I've always said I love Ryan Day. I feel like Ryan Day is 45 years old. He has the right swag for what we need. His offense, I mean, before this year, we were scoring between 45 and 50 points a game for the previous 4 years. So our offense was always top of the line with Ryan Day at the helm. I think Ryan Day let people trick him out his spot. I think Ryan Day should have continued calling the plays like he's been doing instead of going to hire Chip Kelly. And now this relationship is weird. Chip coached you back in the day. Now he was a head coach last year. Now he's an OC. It's just a lot of dynamics going in there. You know what I'm saying? So are you willing to lose your job behind Chip Kelly? That's what I'm asking Ryan Day, because Chip Kelly this year, I was not impressed. I thought we had way too much talent at the wide receiver position. We had no deep threat all year. I've been saying we winning, but this is not about to work against anybody who has athletes or who are not scared of us. I've been saying this. And as soon as we come to Michigan and we know they're not scared of us, you see what happened. That game plan was pathetic on offense, man, but shout out to my defense because they balled out.
Yeah. Let's take it up to Dayton, man, and talk about one of your former teammates, Andre Johnson. Now, of course, he was a force on the field. He's officially cemented his legacy with the Hall of Fame ring. Tell us, what do you think he meant to the Texans and you personally as a player as well?
Andre Johnson is everything to the Texans. You know what I'm saying? He is the he's the walking logo, if you want to be honest. You know what I'm saying? And the thing I love about Dre, man, I was there a year before Dre. Dre came my second year. So I was able to be there when he got drafted. And he just such a humble dude, man. Like, dude's never been a rah-rah guy. He's not loud when you see him out in the streets. He's always calm, chill, reserved. But when it comes to putting that work in on that football field, stone cold killer, stone cold animal. Obviously, he came from a great program at the University of Miami. So he was born the right way, man. He played the game the right way. And I was so happy to be there to celebrate with him in Canton, Ohio this year. We had a ball. I went up there for like 4-5 days in Canton, Ohio. And we had a stone cold ball celebrating my dude being the first Houston Texan to get into the Hall of Fame. So big salute.
Absolutely. Now, you were part of history in that inaugural class with the Texans. That's a legacy that not a lot of players can really speak to. What was it like being part of that, building an NFL franchise at that time from the ground up, pun intended? How was that experience for you? You know what I'm saying? What was it like in the city? What was the vibe and the energy like?
I mean, honestly, you really can't even duplicate it. You know, there's only a certain time where you're actually able to build and create a brand new franchise from scratch. So being a part of the first inaugural draft, bringing football back to Houston. Remember, the Titans had left in 96, so they hadn't had football out here for about 4 or 5 years, so they were starving for football, period. So with us coming and being a new franchise, man, let me tell you something. We got so much love in the city of Houston, bro. We were talking about real deal celebrities around here, bro. I didn't pay for no food. I didn't pay for no drinks. I had access to everything I wanted. Nah, it was wide open. The city was welcoming. And then, you come in and Started off like we started off by upsetting the Cowboys on Sunday Night Football, first game in franchise history. So we came in that thing popping. So the city, man, it was much love in H-Town. I had a
Yeah,
ball down.
absolutely. Talk about the energy of that first game to have beaten the Dallas Cowboys, America's team, and just what that vibe was like and how the city reacted to that.
The vibe was cool, man. It really boiled down to we thought that they was disrespectful, because we practiced against them that week. And they were just lackadaisical. We just watching how they approach in practice. Now we got damn capers. Everything we doing, 1,000% speed, everything full throttle. We going. And we looking at them, we like, boy, they think it's gonna be a game out here, I guess, huh? You know what I'm saying? So we took it personal. And we really came out there and dominated that whole game. There was not one part of that game where you felt like the Cowboys were going to win. So, at the same time, I felt like we handled it great, and the city just embraced us from there on out, man. They knew that we were here to stay and be a real legit team.
Absolutely. Fast forward to this season, man, when you look at the Cowboys and what they've experienced, it's been a struggle. What do you think is the trajectory, moving forward? There's a lot of conversations in terms of the coaching. They throw up Prime, they throw up a lot of different things. But, your thoughts on the Cowboys right now?
I don't have any thoughts on the Cowboys. I hope they continue to plummet downhill. I hope things continue to go worse. The Houston Texans are now the team in Texas. We're taking over. We want to come up and catch them with that. I don't know how much they worth right now. So we're trying to come up and pass them up as the number one team revenue in the NFL. So I don't think about the Dallas Cowboys at all. All I know is we went up there to Dallas and put hands on them. So that's all I needed to see this year. That's what I know about the Cowboys.
Man, shout out to Coach Ryan, man. It's looking promising in Houston at 8-5. Let me ask you this. We want to kick into these trending topics, and I know there's a lot of conversation that takes place, off the field, amongst the team and whatnot. Keke Palmer, all right, she recently spoke about taking care of her family at 15, the age of 15, and the weight of carrying your family on your shoulders. She said that she was making $40,000 per episode on Nickelodeon while her parents were making that much in an entire year. Now, professional athletes for years have carried the same weight. How does that level of responsibility at a young age shape your mindset, the decisions, the ability to thrive in that setting?
I mean, it's a lot of pressure. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, man, I know myself, I never had any money. You know what I mean? So, a lot of us coming from these African-American communities, where we get a first little couple 100,000 or a couple million broken up over time, taxes taken out of that. People don't understand. Like, I played 20 years ago. So, the money that I was making it seemed like a lot then, but looking back at it, it wasn't that much money. It wasn't enough money to sustain me for the rest of my life. So at the end of the day, man, it's a lot of pressure. You want to take care of your parents. If you have a wife, if you have children, you want to take care of all the people that kind of supported you on the way up. But if you don't hit a real lick going into the NFL, you're not able to do that. You have to humble yourself and wait till you potentially get to your second contract, and maybe you can get $5 or $10 million at one time, and now you can do those type of things for your family. But most of the people are not able to just go into the NFL and take care of their parents. It didn't work like that for me, that's for sure. Well, I took care of them as much as I could, but I wasn't able to just buy them a house, this, that, and the third. I wasn't able to do that until I would maybe get to that second contract.
Yeah. Speaking of this beef, man, Kendrick Lamar, Drake, you started a label. You've made history in terms of doing some of that stuff successfully. K. Drake, who won, in your opinion?
I don't think anybody loses in that. I think both of them won. I don't see anything that's stopping for Drake moving forward, and I don't see, and obviously this is catapulting Kendrick into a platform, a level that he's never been at before. Let's keep it a buck. This is his most number ones because he's dissing Drake. Everybody was ready for Drake to take the fall. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, you know how I roll. I don't know these guys personally, but I consider myself a loyal guy. So I'm Cash Money. I'm a rap a lot for life. Point blank period. I'm from New Orleans. Houston is my home. So anything that's tied to that, I'm rocking with that. That's just how I rock. You know what I'm saying? So I'm Team Drizzy all day. I don't listen to him all like that, but I'm just gonna ride for Drake. That's just how I'm gonna be because he's a Cash Money affiliate, and I represent Cash Money to the fullest.
So, with that being said, obviously coming from out of New Orleans, we know there's a lot of controversy. K. Dot is going to do the Super Bowl halftime show. Your thoughts on Lil Wayne? And him being in that conversations. What are players during this time? What are they thinking? What do you think other players are thinking? Do they get a chance to even watch the halftime show when they're in the locker room getting prepared for the second half? Is that a consideration?
I've never been in a Super Bowl game, so you asking the wrong person on that one. Oh, I have no idea what they do. But for what I know, them people focus on football. They don't give a damn about no halftime show. So they in there trying to make adjustments and get ready to come back out there and try to win a Super Bowl ring. Nobody's worried about Beyonce on stage right now. We can catch her in, a whole nother time. You know what I'm saying? So I would imagine they're locked in on football and what the hell they got to do to come out there and win that second half.
Okay, say less. What about Lil Wayne? Should he be on that stage?
Lil Wayne has done enough to definitely perform in the Super Bowl. Here's what I think happened. Oh, this is just my humble opinion. I think what happened was this last Super Bowl when the West Coast made it look like they were doing a West Coast tribute at the Super Bowl, and you have all the West Coast rappers come out at a West Coast Super Bowl. Now you're putting into people's minds that, okay, we come to New Orleans. I'm Weezy. Yeah, I want to perform at the Super Bowl. What you mean? That's not how it goes. Now, Mike, they've had 10 Super Bowls before that in New Orleans, and nobody said nothing. But when you set that precedent, now, right, like, you coming to my city, yeah, I want to perform. And that's what I think happened, and that's why I think all the disconnect came, bro. I don't think it's nothing personal. I think Wayne is just disappointed.
Say less. Let's switch gears, man. I got something that we call fair or foul. All right. So we've tackled the big stories, but I want to go into this rapid fire round, and I'll throw some trending topics at you, and you can tell me fair or foul. If you agree with it, it's fair. If you disagree, it's foul. And most importantly, you tell me why. So let's get to it. Bronny James, all right, reportedly not wanting to fly commercial with his G League team or stay at their standard Marriott accommodations, instead traveling and lodging separately with elevated arrangements. Fair or foul? Is it fair for Bronny to have these perks?
Yeah, I think it's fair. It's Dan LeBron James. That's just how it goes. It is what it is. Yeah, you might not like it, but it's fair. That's just how it is. I'm not standing in regular Marriott. He may have stalkers. He got other things going on you guys don't know nothing about. So it's fair.
Okay. This ongoing beef with Drake and Kendrick Lamar is taking a wild turn. Drake reportedly sues his label, UMG, over the success of Kendrick's song in some people's eyes, claiming they're boosting those streams unfairly. Fair or foul? Should Drake have kept it on wax and handled it in an old school fashion, or is he doing exactly what he's supposed to do, Jay?
Honestly, I haven't looked into the lawsuit. I'm kind of out of the loop when I heard about it. Listen, the only thing I know is if somebody was calling me a pedophile and about performing at the Super Bowl, I'm putting a cease and desist out too. Especially if you ain't got no proof and that ain't how I'm living. I'm not letting you go up there and perform it at the Super Bowl. I'll be doing the same thing. That's just how it goes.
Okay. Now, Netflix, they made their live sports debut with a boxing event, Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul, drawing 65 million streams, massive numbers, but it sparked a major debate. Now, fair or foul, is this kind of spectacle fair for the sport of boxing, bringing new life and attention to the game, or is it foul, turning a storied sport into a sideshow and undermining the credibility of boxing?
I think it's fair. 65 million people watched it. What are we talking about? Obviously, there was an audience for it. Nobody got killed. Nobody got hurt. Mike Tyson signed up for it. Listen, I think it's fair. That man is a real legit hustler, and you can't be mad. If people want to tune in, he's going to keep giving them the show.
Okay. Now, we've had fun with these hot takes, Jay. But now we got to get down to the nitty-gritty, man. The big game is coming up. You know this. The playoff picture is shaping up. The stakes are getting higher every week. So tell me, who do you see punching their ticket for the big game?
Man.
Are we looking at a heavyweight showdown, Jay? I'm going to throw a little something else in there. You think it's going to be the usual suspects?
Talking about that KC?
That KC? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You listen, I'm never betting against. I'm not betting against Mahomes until somebody beat him. And he then went got D Hop down there with him. Somebody got to beat him for me. So I take him coming out the AFC right now.
Okay. And who else?
I like Detroit on the other side, man. They're resilient, bro. They got close last year. I think they still got their hunger in their mouth, and I think that they're gonna learn from that epic second half collapse last year. And I think that might fuel them to go on and make it to the big game this year. I like Detroit coming out of that other side.
Okay, Detroit looking real good this year as well, man. Well, Jay Wells, man.